It was decision day on Married at First Sight. So we've already had one couple make their decision to split. That was Zach and Minnie. That happened a few weeks ago. But our other four couples all sat down with the marriage experts to decide if they wanted to stay together. We opened up with Jessica and Austin, and we all knew that they were going to stay together. To me, they're the only couple that should have stayed together. Like watching the show, they're the only two people that possibly I've ever seen on this show where I thought, yes, they are a match. That is a couple. They should stay married. They should start having babies immediately. The rest of the couples this season, I felt were all a total mess. Now, we did have another couple, Derick and Katy, decided to stay together. And I really felt bad for Derick because we've seen all season long Katy saying very negative things about Derick, and when she's talking to other people about him, it's like she's been searching for reasons to break up with him. And I just hate that. So now they're going to have the opportunity to potentially watch these shows. And how do you handle someone being so negative about their spouse on national TV for everyone to see after you've decided, hey, I'm going to stay married with this person? So that's going to be very interesting. Next week, we do have the 5-month catch up where we see where all the couples are 5 months later. And that's going to be very interesting because I really do not think Derick and Katy were a good pair. You could see that Derick just wanted it so badly. He was going to say yes no matter what. And if Katy was truly feeling all of the things that she's been saying to other people, then she should have said no. You know, it's not illegal for them to get a divorce and still date. And I think that should have been something that this couple should have been more open to, because what happens now when the cameras go away and nothing improves in their relationship. So that is, I wasn't really on board with them staying together. I think Derick seems like a very nice man, but Katy just really doesn't seem mature enough for marriage. She doesn't seem open to being in that kind of relationship. And it almost seems like she's just looking for this fairy tale ending that is just not based in reality. Next up, let's talk about, who do you want? Should we do Brandon and Taylor or Mika and Michael? Let's do Brandon and Taylor first. So obviously they're not together. Brandon clearly had some major issues with everything surrounding the show. And I'm genuinely curious what Taylor and Brandon's relationship would have looked like with no cameras ever coming into play. That seemed to be the one driving factor that Brandon just could not handle. You know, it goes way back to that initial honeymoon where he got the cameras in his face and snapped. He just snapped. And I mean, maybe that's a good thing for their relationship, that Taylor had the opportunity to see him behave that way so that she knew, this is not someone to be in a relationship with. This is not somebody who's here for the right reasons. This is not somebody you want in your life any way, shape, or form. Now, on the other side of the coin, I also feel like Taylor was someone who just really wasn't ready to take this step in her life. You could see by her behavior especially there's the one point in the season where she goes out, puts a post on social media that's basically her advertising for a new man in her life. And you think, for somebody who's supposed to be in a relationship, that is not healthy behavior. We also had another incident later on in the season where she apparently went out all night and didn't tell Brandon. And also, other times throughout the season, we heard Taylor say that she was really just looking for somebody to go out and party with, which does not sound like someone who is ready to get married. So, with all that said, they are happily split up. Brandon didn't even stick around to go to the after party with everybody else, where even Zach showed up for the after party. So, yeah, that's where that relationship sits. And yeah, very happy that they are not together. Next up, we have Mika and Michael. These two were just a terrible match. Let's just cut. No reason to pull any punches on this. They were just an atrocious match. Mika's negativity was overwhelming. Michael's constant lying was just absurd. These are two people that should have probably never been in this process to begin with. They didn't either seem like they were ready to be married, didn't really seem like either of them were open to this process and fully accepting it. So yeah, these two were just a write-off couple for me. And sitting on the couch for decision day, there was a moment there where I thought, oh no, are they gonna stay married? But thankfully Mika pulled the plug because Michael was ready to stay together, which is mind-blowing to me because I don't think I saw a moment of happiness from those two all season long. So lastly, we had Zach and Mindy come back to the couch. In the previews, we've had some extremely deceptive edits thrown our way with Mindy saying basically straight up that she regrets separating from him. That was not the case. That is not what she said. And I think that this is a situation where Mindy was someone who was truly ready for this adventure, truly ready to be married, and she just got matched with somebody who could not handle the process, the experience, being married in any way, shape, or form. One interesting thing went from when they were on the couch was Pastor Cal asking Zach, like, did you do this for social media exposure? Which I found very bizarre since Zach was largely absent from the relationship the whole time. Like, he didn't even have an opportunity to get any sort of social media exposure because he barely appeared on the show. What's that? Yeah, and it was everything about it was negative. Like, he checked out of that relationship early on and it was a mess. And I just think that he was overwhelmed by the whole process. And I feel very bad for Mindy and really hope that she finds someone in her life because she is such a kind, compassionate, caring person that we saw on this show. And I hope for nothing but the best for her. Okay, that wraps up my decision day. Just want to say one last thing. All season and constantly in this show, we are all told marriage is something you have to work at. And I fully do not believe that. I've been married for 3.5 years, and I can count the number of fights that my wife and I have been in on one hand. I don't even need all of the fingers to do all the counting there. And every single one of those disagreements or arguments have been from lack of communicating. So I don't think it's something you need to work at. When you find that right person, when you find that someone that you are meant to be with, everything can be a fairy tale ending and doesn't have to be a series of going from one fight to the next fight to the next fight to the next issue to the next problem. This is something you're embarking on, a journey, an adventure with someone that you love for the rest of your life. And that shouldn't